What's up, everybody? Welcome to another video of Cave on Chess. Earlier this week, there was a tragic report. It was all over the news. I'm guessing a lot of people heard about it. But Grandmaster Daniel Naroditsky died, and he was found on his couch in his home in Charlotte, North Carolina. And, after that happened, there were lots of top chess streamers, top chess players, Got Him Chess, Hikaru, Magnus, all, saying how sad they felt that this happened and that more action needs to be done to make sure that it doesn't happen in the future. And because it was so sad and because so many people were talking about it, I felt like it would only be right if I made a full, unbiased report on the whole situation. Because there are so many things that people don't know. Like right when you look at the first few YouTube videos, you see a very biased report on one person's perspective or another person's. So here's what I found, okay? Head to head on chess.com, Daniel and Kramnik have played each other 36 times. Daniel's won 18, Kramnik's won 9. They've tied 9 times as well. Their average move accuracy per game was pretty similar. Daniel's was 89.475, Kramnik's was 87.547. So their move accuracy is really similar. So what's the big deal, right? Kramnik accused Daniel of cheating. And it got so out of hand, some people believe that is what led to what happened earlier this week on Tuesday. Whether that's true or not, I don't know. But the worst part about it is that this could have been prevented in so many ways. It really could have been. So here's the facts of the case. Naroditsky was banned in 2021 for speedrun content because it violated chess.com's fair play policy. He later apologized and said he was sorry. And Kramnik, though, has faced multiple allegations. He was playing on other people's accounts. He was falsely accusing many people of cheating, which was found false, which led him to be banned from chess.com for a long time in 2023. And then Kramnik went on earlier this year in 2025 to suspend his chess.com account. People said that Danny fell off in his last video. He just felt a little bit off, just not himself, and that Kramnik claimed that he was getting death threats because of the cheating allegation thing, and that he didn't mean it that way. So it's really deep and sad what happened. It really is. So Vladimir Kramnik, let's just jump into this, okay? Most people aren't talking about Kramnik. They're only focusing on Danny and his life. I could not find anything on Kramnik. And then somehow I find this random interview from like 20 years ago in black and white. It's a 37-minute video. And if you want to check it out, you can. It's called Kramnik's Story, the version of him we all need to meet. It's 37 minutes long. And it talks about his life. So I'll just go about it and what I found. I wrote down about 1 page worth of valuable information that really just shows who he was as a person. So he was the undisputed chess champion from 2000 to 2007. He beat Garry Kasparov, one of the best chess players in the world, in 2000 to win the Classical World Championship, which was a very, very big deal for him. He was actually accused of cheating by a guy named Veselin Topalov during the 2006 World Championship match. He was born in a small Russian town in 1975, and he liked going to the sea as a child. He claims he had a normal childhood. He had quite a few of his classmates who went to prison, which when he said that, I'm like, wait, what? I had to pause back in the video and make sure I heard the right thing, because I'm like, what is this guy talking about? He was talking about the sea, and then out of nowhere he talks about his friends going to prison, but whatever. That was kind of interesting. He also said he had certain fights in school and that he played football. I looked on Google, though, and there are no reports that he was playing football. So I don't know what that case is about, but he claims he did play it. I don't know if it matters or not, but that's just what it said. His father taught him and his brother chess. His brother was named Evan G. Kramnik. He was known to be a patient child, which isn't really a surprise because he was a grandmaster. I feel like every grandmaster has to be patient to a certain degree. And he asked his father to buy him a chess book, which he did. And that's really how he learned chess. One of the quotes I found that kind of was interesting was at the 10-minute mark. He said, maybe if you compare my style with some other top chess players, maybe Kasparov comes closer than anyone else. I feel that shows a sense of ignorance from him almost. Like, I'm kind of just better than everybody else. And that might have, made him feel a certain way when he started losing and accusing other people of cheating, possibly. He also started at a young age, 5 or 6 years old, and his grandfather actually had to give him a wooden box to play chess because he was so small. So he would walk up to the chess table with a bunch of 30 and 40-year-olds, and his grandfather would give him a wooden box, and he'd be like, hey, Vladimir, you have to take this wooden box, and you have to put it on your seat so you can see the chessboard. I mean, it's crazy. It's crazy stuff. And now he might use legal action against FIDE because of all the crazy stuff that's been happening lately. Um, he also said he's never really had a real chess trainer. He would work alone, and he even put in a quote, much more difficult to improve quick because you simply don't know what to do. You don't know many things. That was at the 18-minute mark, but he was basically just talking about how a chess trainer didn't help him. Not much there, but it kind of just shows how because he felt so isolated and he was learning chess by himself, he didn't really see how other players played the game, which could have also made him feel like he had to falsely cheat against other people. Now, that is maybe a huge excuse to what some people might believe, but it could be a possible reason. At the age of 9, he was going to championships. At 9 years old, he was going to championship games. It's, these chess people sometimes scare me, honestly. We had a rather talented generation, I would say, in our region. That was his quote. He didn't know anyone to get out of the chess region, though. So it was hard for him to build a reputation because he didn't know many people, probably because he was playing chess by himself for 5 hours. But he really talked really robotly and boring. It was really boring to watch. But if you want to check it out, you can. It was, like I said, not a very entertaining video, but it was called Kramnik's Story, the version of him we all need to meet. It was 37 minutes long. He talks really boring. He goes like, and my chess career was very great, and I did amazing things, and I went to the World Championship when I was 9. It was like that on and on and on and on. It was just so flat. But anyways, that's really who Kramnik was. So here is who Daniel Naroditsky was, okay? I watched the video. I didn't watch it too long. It was an hour and 4 minutes, but it was called You Thought I Was Gone, Speedrun Returns. It was from last week. It was one of Daniel Naroditsky's last videos. And he seemed like a really funny guy, right? He talks through games in a really engaging way. He gets a lot of people into it, very extroverted. He's a content creator on YouTube. There have been reports that he's faced previous stress from all the cheating allegations that people have, especially Kramnik, have put on him, and maybe only Kramnik. But Kramnik is one of the main people that was ruining his reputation on online, social media, chess.com, and he was feeling a lot of stress from that. And he even said in one of his last live streams, I quote, ever since the Kramnik stuff, I feel like if I start doing well, people assume the worst of intentions. And then lots of friends also said cheating allegations took a toll on him. So, that's got to play a huge factor in FIDE's decision. And yeah, it's really crazy stuff. He was born in 1995, California, younger of 2 brothers. His parents were Jewish immigrants from Ukraine and Azerbaijan. Um, his father was, pretty close to him. His family was really close to him. He had an older brother named Alan who taught him to play chess around 6. And by age 11, by age 11, he already became the youngest player to win the Northern California K-12 championship. And he became a grandmaster at 17 years old. He also was reported to love endgames as well. He went to Stanford. He got a bachelor's degree in history in 2019. And then during college, he took a year off just to focus on chess because he was just that guy. He loved Steph Curry and the Golden State Warriors. He had a good family, seemed like a great person. That's probably why it hit so many people so hard that something this tragic could happen. So here's the issue, though, and this is the issue that lots of people are talking about. Is cheating accusations, especially at the higher level, getting out of hand in chess? And I will tell you from my personal experience, because I played thousands of games on chess.com, because I would play so many games and have people literally just out of nowhere say, hey, you're cheating in the chat, it made me block the chat because I'm like, this is so stupid. They're just trying to get a reaction out of me. It's dumb. Don't engage. These people are, just obviously just don't know how to handle how to lose. And it's annoying, but that's just how it has to work. And, the chat's gotten really out of hand. But I will say this. On chess.com, the chat can also be used for many good things. I've met people from over 200 countries on just from the chat who have literally told me their whole life stories and how chess has helped them so much. So it can be a blessing and a curse at the same time. But I definitely think cheating's got out of hand on chess.com. But how do we prevent cheating? But also, how do we make sure that cheating is reported in the right way is the main question for so many people. And it's a question chess.com needs to answer. And it's going to be tough to because of all the things that have been happening. So here's my final solution, okay? And this did take a while to make because it was tough to think about something like this, and it's just really deep stuff. It was all over the news, but here is my final solution. Every player who reaches 2,000 on chess.com should be immediately investigated for cheating. And there's a really simple reason for this. If you get to 2,000 on chess.com and you're in the top 1% of players, you should just be investigated for cheating then. Because then, most likely, if you are, at least somewhat honest, chess.com will find you that you have not cheated, and you can play at the higher level knowing that you have already passed the benchmark of 2,000 because there was an investigation that was already being done. Now, obviously, if you get up to 2,500 to become a grandmaster, it becomes different because people can accuse you of cheating, saying you're using engines, which is what Kramnik did. But it would just make it at least a little bit harder for you to accuse someone of cheating falsely. Just a little bit harder. And then only accusations supported by credible evidence should be investigated. There's so many people that can just randomly file reports if they lose on chess.com. It takes 1 second. Is someone cheating? And next thing you know, it's being investigated by the whole chess.com team. It's ridiculous, and it's happening every day. So investigations should also remain private, by the way, because obviously you don't want your investigation to be known publicly. And if someone is found cheating, they should be notified immediately. For example, let's say I'm found cheating. Oh my gosh. I'm found cheating in a chess game. And I try logging into chess.com, and it's like, your username has been removed. Your account has been gone from this website. And then I get no notification. Then I have to email chess.com. You should automatically get notified by a chess.com team member, and I don't know if that's already put in place, but it should be that if your account does somehow get blocked or restricted, you should know why it did, and you should know how long it should be restricted for, and you should also have a chance to get your account back if you do the right steps and it's not too serious. Pretty simple, right? Here's the big one. This is the one that I really think chess.com should propose. Do anonymous surveys to prevent this. We're a chess community, right? People always talk about how chess.com is a community for lots of people. Let the people have the voice. Millions of people every day are playing on chess.com. Millions of people every day are playing chess on the board, or Lee chess, or watching Got Him chess videos, or chess streams, or just trying to get better at the game. It's one of the most popular board games. It actually is the most popular board game in the world. Chess.com should just do anonymous surveys. Hey, do you want to fill out this anonymous survey on cheating? How can we improve the community? See what people have to say, take it in, and go from there. Because anonymous surveys have helped so many companies and businesses get to the next level, and it's actually helped, so many people at various stages get to where they want to go. And I think that's something chess.com should consider, because if we are a chess community, everyone should have an equal voice. And I think anonymous surveys are a huge way that people can share their voice without feeling judged or, knowing their username's attached to it. Now, of course, you're going to get some crazy people who say crazy stuff, but, those are the people that maybe are cheating. Okay, so here's what Kramnik's penalty should be. And I thought a lot about this because, there's lots of, it's like a black and white thing. I can see it both ways. but there's been petitions with over 13,000 people that Kramnik should be banned from chess permanently. And I can understand why people feel that way, but I would rather have a 4 to 10 year suspension because Kramnik's already been banned from chess for 6 to 12 months. That didn't help. Now, will 4 to 10 years help? Maybe, maybe not. But I do believe that if he's taught, the right way to play the game, he didn't do anything legally bad. He obviously is a very great chess player, and he falsely accused others of cheating though, so there should be a penalty, right? 4 to 10 years feels fair to me because that's the time that he should be figuring out what he did wrong. Obviously apologizing to the chess community, which he still hasn't done. And if he doesn't do that, obviously it should be more like, you know, 8, 9, 10 years in that span. So that's kind of what I'm thinking there. And then I also, FI never does this. The chess community never, ever does this. But they should propose a $20,000 fine on Kramnik. And here's why. He has hurt not only Danny, he has hurt Hikaru's reputation, he's hurt Magnus's reputation, he's hurt the chess community's reputation. He's really made it look bad. And even though this is really rare, I do believe deeply that he should face a fine for his actions. $20,000 seems fair. Now maybe should it be more, like 25 or 30,000 or less? It really depends on the person. But the fact that he can get away with this without paying anything doesn't feel right to me. Now, I understand why some people might feel like, okay, he just made a few false allegations. And I also understand his background, how he played chess by himself for so long, and how that could have shaped how he felt about chess and accusing others of cheating because he wasn't used to online, especially because he's such an older player, and most older players on chess.com aren't used to the online format and don't understand it as well, which makes sense. But I still think that he should pay a good fine for what he did because he really did hurt a lot of people's reputations, and that's not okay. I can't speak for Danny on why what happened and if Kramnik was involved, but I can say that Kramnik did not help at all. You're not going to apologize to the chess community. You're, thinking about, filing lawsuits over this. It's really sad because all you need to do is apologize and say you don't have to do this again. And like I said, I understand Kramnik's point of view. I really do. I watched a 37-minute interview with him. But I do think that he needs to take action, step it up, and apologize because that's what's right. And sometimes you just have to own up to mistakes you made and stop trying to defend yourself because he can't defend himself. His chess career is already destroyed because he's ruined it. Because he has tried to rig the whole thing, and it's not going to work. So, and by the way, most of this happened after 2020 because that's when a lot of people started playing chess online during when COVID was happening, the Queen's Gambit was out, all of that. So, in conclusion, that is what I think on this case. Let me know in the comments what you think, but I find it really interesting. The first thing you look at when you see a video is the story of Danny or the story of Kramnik or whatever his name is. You see that and you're like, okay, that's great, but I want to hear both points of view. I want to hear what actually happened. I want to hear both sides of the story. And I think that chess.com and the FI team need to make sure they do this right. And maybe they'll even watch this video, which would be great. And I believe that they will do this right. I believe in the process. And hopefully whatever happens, it turns out well for everybody and everything, you know, is figured out. So that's what I think on it. Let me know in the comments what you think. I hope you have a good one. I will see you next week after Halloween, which will be awesome. But have a good one. Have a good night. I'll see you guys next time. And thanks for watching.